This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. So today I'm going to start off with my sponsor, Audible. It's audible.com, link in the description below. What is Audible? Audible is audiobooks. People read books, you get to listen to them. It's great if you're really busy. I've got the podcast, attempting to try to keep up on the blog. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old boy stuck home because of coronavirus, and trying to run a balloon business, and plan for my comeback here coming up soon. And I picked up another job planting trees in the meantime to make ends meet until I can reopen my business. I've got a lot on my hands. I don't have a lot of time to sit and read. But you know I do have a lot of? Time driving in my car and time walking around and planting trees. I can listen to things. So that means I can listen to my books. So if you're really busy, don't have time to read, but you want to read and consume books, multimillionaires, multiple businessmen read a lot of books. It's very important to read. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, read. It will help you succeed. So this is the easy way to go. Go check them out. 30-day free trial, $14.95 after a month afterwards. Quite honestly, if I had the choice between Audible and Netflix, I'd take Audible. Just me. And if you cancel the account, you keep your audiobooks, you get 30% off of all additional purchases. You can exchange your audiobooks if you don't like it. You can swap it for free. Great customer service. You can cancel it anytime. You're not locked in. They're really great. So go check them out. They're amazing. Audible.com. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about another aspect of pricing. Pricing is, of course, a very important part of business. If you price too high, you don't sell anything, you go out of business. You price too low, you sell a lot, but you don't make any money, you go out of business. You need to find the right balance there. Now, if you go back, I've talked about pricing before, how to price, an overview, how to do costing, all that good stuff. But when you price, I'm going to say apply to your price a sales technique. Now, pricing and sales are obviously connected. Obviously, you need to have the right price to make a sell. But as far as a sales technique, what do I mean? Well, way back in the day when I worked at Radio Shack, they kept telling us, don't sell out of your own pocket. Now, what do I mean by that? What did they mean by that? What they meant by that is when a customer came in and asked for a product, you shouldn't assume the customer has the same financial situation as you do and is only wanting to buy what you want to buy or what you would buy with your financial situation, i.e. your own pocketbook. Don't try to sell someone something that you could afford just because that's the one you could afford or you would want to buy because of the price. You have to sell at the highest dollar amount first, and you work your way down. They come in, they want a cable for their TV, for example. Then you can go, hey, great, you've got it on a cable. Here's our most expensive, nice ones, and they really work well. And they go, oh, no, I don't need that. And then you work your way down. You go, well, I got this one. And you work your way down. You start from the top. But you never, ever assume that the person you're talking to is in the same financial position you are. You need to talk to them as if they're a millionaire, billionaire. Because you never know. They might be wealthy, they might be well off, and they just might be looking for somebody to take care of them. Now, this is something that's hard to do. You will subconsciously, and I caught myself doing it a lot, it's very easy to, when you're selling something, to not push the highest number to a customer because you won't buy that yourself. So there's that mental block. Now, when it comes to pricing, I find I do the same thing here. And it's very common. Even my mom, when she ran a floral flower preservation service where she would preserve flowers for people from weddings, from baby baptisms or whatever, she would save these. She would take the flowers, she would preserve them, dry them out. She got an expensive machine to do it. She would then create shadow boxes where, if you don't know what they are, they're pretty cool. They're kind of like a little clear frame that's a little bit deeper than just a picture frame, and you can put stuff in there like flowers, or from wedding, the wine glasses, the two rings that were fake that the ring bird brought in, any other little special things about it, and then arranges it in a box with some pictures and stuff and makes this really cool thing that's called a shadow box. Really amazing. And when my mom first made one, I can't remember the exact price she asked, but she took it into a flower shop and asked them what they thought of it, her work. And they asked, "Great, that looks cool. How much do you think I should price for that?" I was thinking maybe $50, $100. And the lady looked at that and went, "Honey, I've been in the industry for forever. I can't remember how long, but it was multiple years. Because that should go for about $800. Not $100, $800. It's really worth it. You did a lot of work." And my mom was just blown away. $800, something she was asking $100 for. And for me, yeah, when I first started, I started with my pricing. I was a little bit rough on some of it. I had a guy come in and ask me to do an event, 20 balloon columns. And I priced it out and I said, "Okay, I'll do it for 3,600 kroner." I had no idea how low that price was. I had no clue. I was thinking about what I would pay for it. Kind of in my back of my head, what was good. I found out that the previous quote they had was 36 or 40,000 kroner. Yeah, I was a little bit off my pricing, and I eventually brought my pricing up to 10,000 kroner for that job, which was still a pretty big discount, but still more in line with the industry standard. And I learned better. And even the other day, I got an email. They asked my price for something. After coronavirus, after this whole shutdown thing, I was a little gun shy. I gave them my price, and I just about said, "But, if that's too much, let me know, and I'll give you a discount or something because of coronavirus or whatever." Just because it seemed like no one would pay that right now. But I left that off. I said, "Okay, I'm going to take the jump. If they say yes, great. If they say that's too expensive, then I'll work on the price." "Okay, great. Send it." "Hey, great, cool. You're hired. Let's do it." Immediately glad that I went with the higher price. Again, right now we're struggling from the virus. Business is down. It's rough. So I'm thinking no one's going to be able to pay. I'm setting my prices out of my own pocket. You need to set your prices out of your target market's prices. If you want to make a lot of money by selling a few items for expensive, you need to target the wealthy people who can pay for it. You may not be able to pay for that yourself, but that's not the point. You need to worry about what other people will pay for it and if they find value in your product or service. If they find high value in it and they're willing to pay a higher amount of money because it's worth it to them, then that's great. Do it. Higher price. Great. Get that higher price. It's not being greedy. You need to survive. Even with my higher prices, and I'm not the cheapest guy around, I'm not the most expensive either, but I'm kind of middle of the road. But even with my higher prices, people find it's worth buying my service. They find value in it. They are happy with my work, so they pay. And I take that money and I feed my family and I put a roof over our head, and or at least try to. It takes me and my wife both working on it. But I take that money and build my business. I put it back in my business. I feed my kids. I have a little bit of fun. It's not greedy. It's not bad to want to take care of your family. That kind of goes along with it. Sometimes you price lower because you're worried about other people's families and them being able to pay for it too. You can't do that. Even out of care and concern for someone else being able to pay it. You have to remember their situation is not your situation. They could have the money and be willing to pay it. And I've actually had clients that have picked up on my financial struggles. It just kind of slipped out somewhere along the lines that whatever was going on, and they paid even more and they tipped more, etc. Now, granted, you don't usually want to tell your clients your own personal life and let them know. But I can't remember it. I think I said, sorry, right now I don't have the extra money to go buy those supplies. Can you pay in advance? So I can, can you pay the deposit so I can go and get the supplies needed to do the job? And they picked up on there that they have a lot of money and they paid extra and they hired me extra just because of that. So they were in a better position than I was. Now, granted, again, you don't want to tell all your customers all your, personal financial struggles and stuff. And you don't usually want to do that. You want to come across as a really good professional that has a lot of customers and business is doing great. But business wasn't doing great. It was rough. It was just around COVID. Things were a little tight. I couldn't buy the helium for the event. I didn't have the money for it. And they needed the helium, so they paid in advance for the helium. That's all I asked. So, it worked out. It was really cool. Don't usually do that. But just saying, I was in a position where I was struggling and I couldn't afford to spend that much money on that type of event. They, on the other hand, were doing just fine and they had the money to spend that type of money on the event. So it worked out great for both of us and they were very happy. I was very happy. And my wife and kids were happy. Hey, it all works out. So just remember when you're going out there, when you're setting your pricing, price what you think your target market will want. Don't change prices, don't bounce around, set prices. Be fair, be honest, of course, but just make sure when you set your price, you're setting prices that your target market will easily be able to afford, feel very comfortable with, and be very, very happy to pay that price. That's the price you want to set. Not the one where your broke friends and family can't hire you, but the ones where those, rich families or well-off families can. In my case, balloons. So, yeah. Anyway, you'll have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, just as a reminder, we do offer a free 1/2 hour, no obligation consultation. All you need to do is go to our website and contact us through there, or you can contact me directly at my O'Connor Bootstrap podcast Facebook group or our Atheoz.com Facebook page as well. And if you would like to support this channel, the best thing you can do, of course, is to like and share and subscribe. That helps the most. Or you can check out one of our affiliate links. And of course, I do have a PayPal and a Patreon account, and the links will be in the description below. Thank you very much. You all have a good day. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast and Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For other podcasts, past episodes, and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com. www.atheoz.com. That is www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.